Welcome to the Gal's Guide to the Galaxy podcast, where a group of gals gather for you one cool thing around our topic of the month. Is it ancient history? Is it breaking news? Is it safe for work? Well, that's up to each gal. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Hello, and welcome back to the Gal's Guide to the Galaxy podcast. It is a new month, and it is a brand new research theme at the Gal's Guide Library, and we're in a ghoulish frame of mind, wanting to tell some scary stories. And maybe it's the pumpkin spice, and maybe it's because it's an election year, but it's definitely because it's 2020, has been a series of paper cuts pretty much doused in hand sanitizer. You know, that burning, that stinging sensation that makes you grit your teeth and beg for death. That's this year. The October theme of this month is Scary Gals. It's a diabolical choice because the gal bells, that's a new thing.
Cowbells. More cowbells.
Because the, no. Because the gal pals, there it is, get to choose what is scary to them. Did the scary gal they pick murder their entire family? Are they scream queen legends? Do they have scary morals? Coco Chanel, I'm talking about you. Or is it J.K. Rowling's latest brain droppings that terrify them most? Dun, dun, dun. So find out this month on the Gal's Guide podcast. That's the best I can do. There we go. So these are the brave gals who fear no evil in sharing the tales from the depths of hell and having it streamed on Zoom as well. So first up, she paints dead ladies for a living. Oh my goodness. Welcome, Bonnie Fillenworth. Bonnie, what was dreadful and wonderful in your life since we've last talked to you?
Oh, I don't know. Same old stuff.
All right, same scariness?
Painting it up. Like, oh no, I'm still blown back by the painting dead people. I mean, I feel like I go to a morgue and do like portraits.
Generally, not all, but a lot of the ladies that you paint are already dead. So I just made it creepy.
Yes.
You're welcome. So wait. All right, well, next up, she conquers the depths of the heat and flames and makes delicious gluten-free goodies out of it. Welcome, Katie Harris. Katie, let's see if I can do this. Mantequilla caliente in your world. Did I say your favorite Spanish word right?
Many.
Oh, and your internet dies. And your internet dies on hot butter. Wait, how do you say hot butter in Spanish, Katie?
Now I'm on the spot.
Is it
Mantequilla caliente?
There it is. Mantequilla caliente. There it is. Hot butter. Hot butter.
Adding some scary to this. Let's not drag high school Spanish.
That was scary to me.
Yeah.
Was high school Spanish. So what is hot butter in your world, Katie?
Well, I did something today I've never ever done before ever.
Is it put a flashlight under your face and tell scary stories?
Oh.
Oh no. Oh, okay.
No, I went golfing.
What happened to Katie?
or rather, I drove a cart and drank beer while Josh
That's
golfed.
my girl. That's my girl. All right. Nope. I like it. Okay.
So just been feeling good. Fall's in the air around here, and we had a beautiful day outside, and all's good in our world.
I thought you just said balls in the air. You said fall is in the air. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Did I say balls?
No, I think you said fall, but I think wishful drinking heard balls are in
balls
the air.
In the air. I mean, it's the fall of the patriarchy, so.
Oh, yes. Oh,
I'm
totally.
going to have to go be scary right now because the dog has my slipper.
Okay, all right, go get your slipper. Go be scary to that dog. All right, so next up, this lady has battled dinosaurs. That's right. And now she's taking on the apocalypse. So Mad Men, look out. because Claire Lockhart is back. Woo! Yay! Claire, what devils have you been dusting since you were last on the show?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me back. It's
Anytime.
scary to be here. No.
I love it.
Well, since I was last here, I've been working on a new series that envisions the post-apocalypse, but it gasps, includes women in it.
No.
So I'm calling the series
Terrifying.
Thunder Domesticity. So,
Love it.
so imagine the post-apocalypse, but with a June Cleaver aesthetic.
Yes. Yes, please.
So if you want to see what I'm up to, you could check it out on Instagram with
Sweet.
Thunder Domesticity.
There you go. I'm going to put a link in the show notes so people can get there even faster.
Yay!
That's right.
That,
oh my God.
that's how I'm coping with the 2020 apocalypse anyway.
Oh, okay. Is hashtags and links that are quicker? No, I'm just kidding. With the apocalypse and domesticity.
Thunder Domesticity.
I love it. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yay.
As for me, I am Dr. Leah Leach. I'm the executive director of Gal's Guide, and it is safe to say that for a living, I am surrounded by biographies of women, so I can say I see dead people all the time.
Dead
See what I did there? I see dead people. But that's okay because we all go a little mad sometimes. Oh, so I love it. Okay, all right, we can totally take flashlights off and lights on. You ready for this? Oh, but wait, it didn't get any better. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, look at all these lovely ladies. There they are. I'm going to give Bonnie a minute to get some lights on up in this. Because then, you know, you people on Zoom who have had that lovely treat of flashlights up our noses, we were gorgeous, y'all. Absolutely gorgeous. But in all seriousness, I really am looking forward to this month to explore what is scary. Because sometimes people will we have such a cancel, that's the word, cancel culture, that if somebody gets a little bit scary, it's like, oh, they're dead to me and I never speak of them again. But complex creatures throughout history are very interesting to me because I firmly believe that we can learn something from everyone, even if those lessons are what not to do. Those can sometimes be a little bit more powerful and life affirming of what not to do. So, who is brave enough to go first? Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, I always want to go first.
Then you know what, Bonnie? You shall go first. Absolutely. Who do you have for us, scary lady?
I'm tempted to not tell you like her name until later.
I got you. We'll play a guessing game.
People watching the podcast later are gonna be able to see the name and the title.
This is very
anyway.
true because when you click on it, it does tell you kind of who it is.
Yeah.
But for our shits and giggles, sure.
So I'm doing Cassandra Peterson, who was born who was born in 1951.
Gotcha.
When she was a toddler at Easter, they were doing the boiling of the eggs. She's born in like Kansas, I think. And she was apparently old enough to pull a chair up to the stove, and she pulled the boiling hot water on herself.
Oh no! And she was like 8.
She was like a toddler.
Oh, she was a toddler. You said.
Like,
oh
like,
my
yeah,
god!
Like 2.
Oh, and had boiling.
Yeah.
Water. Oh, ow. Okay, yeah.
So she got 3rd-degree burns on 35% of her body. The doctors thought she wouldn't survive because back in the day, if you got more than like 25%, you just didn't live.
Yeah.
They gave her a new drug called penicillin and gave her like apparently like an extremely high dose of it because they didn't know how all that worked back then, and they gave her a whole bunch of skin grafts.
Okay.
So, like, throughout her childhood, she's got all these scars, like, mostly, like, on her back. But she's got scars. She wears, like, every family photo of her. She's got, like, turtlenecks on. She never learned to swim because she refused to wear a swimming suit.
Aww.
But that'll change. Yeah. But that changed when she hit puberty because it hit hard. And she says she grew boobs overnight.
Congrats!
And they were huge boobs.
Maybe
so
it was all those skin grafts.
I don't know. So when she was 14, she became a go-go dancer.
Oh,
which for me, I was like, what? Like, I was just thinking, like, dance in the club. Like, no, like, she would be, like, skimpy outfits, like, out till 2 a.m.
Wow.
At 14.
At 14. Well, I mean, and to have the top
She said she drove herself. And
Oh,
she's not allowed to drive, but she drove herself.
Oh my God.
Like, to neighboring states on the weekends to go do, like, go-go dancing gigs.
So 14-year-olds driving, that's the scary part of your story.
I know. There's so many elements of this that is scary. Which, I mean, it's like choose your own adventure.
Probably.
Which part is scariest? 14-year-old driving.
Yes.
14-year-old go-go dancer. 14-year-old crossing state lines. Wow.
So when there was a movie that she loved, and I can't remember the name of it. I don't think it's Viva Las Vegas, but it would have come out in like the 60s or something.
Was it an Elvis movie?
I don't know if it was Elvis.
Okay.
But her family, like, they took a family vacation to Las Vegas when she was 17.
Okay.
And she'd seen this movie that had Vegas in it, and she was like, oh, Vegas! She convinced her parents to let her go see, she calls it a tit and ass show. I don't know what they're called now.
I think they call them TNA.
Like a topless, with the feathers and that's the most that they're wearing show.
Yeah.
So she's 17. She convinces her parents to let her go to one of these shows.
I think I'm loving her parents.
And she says, it's okay. I've got a fake ID.
That's my girl. Yep.
Super resourceful.
Right?
Yeah. So she put in, I think she called them wiglets, which I'm guessing like little tiny wigs.
I think so.
Or something. She tried to make herself look older,
Right.
She's wearing more adult clothes and she wore fake eyelashes. And she's convinced that either she looked older or looked like a hooker. Like, either way since it's Vegas, it was fine. At some point, someone asked her if she's a dancer, and she's like, oh, no. And then
not since I was 15.
Like, a team of people come out, and they want her to come backstage, and she's like, crap, I've been found out. Like, she's freaking out. And they take her backstage, and they're like, well, can you dance? Like, if we put on some music, can you dance for us? And she's like, yeah, I dance. I love to dance. So she dances for them, and they say, well, we've got this new show opening up in a few months. And then she just breaks down. She's cried. She's hysterical. She's like, I'm only 17.
Right.
So they draw this like contract for her that since she's 17, she would not be allowed in the casino or to drink, but she could dance topless.
Oh. See, the world
like,
is
that's
fair.
fine. Yeah. So she brings this like contract to her parents, and they're like, no.
Oh.
Like apparently they're cool enough for her to go see, but like, they're like, no. So for like the next like 6 months, she makes her parents' life like a living hell. The day after she graduates high school, she's in Vegas because she stayed in contact with these people.
Mm-hmm.
So she's working in Vegas as a showgirl. At 19, she loses her virginity to Tom Jones.
Oh. Was she saving it for Tom Jones? Because, you know, if you're
Yeah.
Vegas obsessed, I kind of feel like you've got a list.
And he, you know, she told him like afterwards, and he didn't really like believe her. I mean, you're working as, you know, you're showing your boobs every night. So he never even like thought that she would even remotely be a virgin.
Right.
You know, she's a go-go net. Like, I don't think anyone ever thought about it.
Yeah.
She met him again a few years later when she's in her mid-20s at a party. And she was just kind of like, oh, hey, remember me? And he was like, yeah, you're that broad with all the scars on her back.
Oh, wow. That's how he
Dick.
remembered her? Oh.
That's a dick
Yeah, it is.
move.
Yeah.
That's like the equivalent of like, you know, if you're reversing the genders and the girl's like, yeah, you're the one with the tiny dick.
Right, exactly.
Like, that's so bad. And
Let me just
at
find
a
your worst
party
fear.
in front of people.
Oh,
Like, she was
great.
mortified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
But also while she was in Vegas, she had a date with
Mhm.
Elvis Presley.
Really?
Really?
She had a list.
She was still underage, so they didn't do anything. Like, she talks about Elvis had just like a team, like a chaperone, like a group of people that would watch and make sure that nothing happened. Which it seems like a lot of other people, famous people, need this group of
Probably.
people to watch them.
The entourage? Yeah.
But they didn't really like do anything. I mean, they had a meal and they went back to, I'm assuming, his place, but they, you know, played piano all night. Like, they kind of stayed up all night and were just talking about all this stuff. He told her that she had a great voice, but she should get some singing lessons, and that she should get the hell out of Las Vegas,
Oh,
which she did.
that's so lovely.
She went to Europe for a while and was like the lead singer in a couple bands,
Oh,
and she did a little film work. And when she came back to the U.S., she joined an improv group called the Groundlings.
yes,
Which
I love
is
the
like
Groundlings.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So one of the other famous people to come from this group that she's still like good friends with is Paul Rubins,
Yeah.
also
Pee-wee
known as
Herman.
Pee Wee Herman.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I was a little too excited.
Yeah.
It was like you had the word of the day or something going on, and I.
Yes. No, I had to like look up. I was like, what is his real name? Like, I don't even remember. And it led to like a whole wormhole of all the Pee Wee Herman stuff, which then led to there's like some skits where he was on SNL,
Yeah.
which then led to Jim Carrey doing impersonations of him and Mr. Rogers.
Ah, I don't think
And
I've seen
it was
that
a
one.
whole, I was like, nope, I gotta get back.
Did
to
you
the
get
thing.
to? I didn't know Pee Wee Herman's real name until he was arrested at a porn theater.
Yeah.
That's
That's-
when I learned his real
That
name.
mugshot looks weird.
But that's what got him the role on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie. Because they saw that mugshot and they went, I want that scary guy as a vampire in the movie. And they hired Paul Rubens and kind of gave him a little bit of a comeback. Yeah, I know. You know, typecasting gets you cast.
Yeah. Oh, it was funny. I was looking on his Wikipedia page, and after that incident came out, they were talking about like one of the people that was like showing support for him, like, oh no, he's a great guy, was Bill Cosby,
Oh.
which was, I'm sure, sounded great back in the day.
In the day
but
when
it
we
didn't
didn't
age
know.
well.
But when you know better.
Yeah.
Ooh. Cosby.
So she was working there doing improv with those guys, and she always played these, I don't know, she didn't come up with like a whole lot of like really unique characters. She was always just kind of the girlfriend, the bimbo or whatever. I mean, she's in this group with a bunch of guys, so she's got to
Yeah.
be like the lady for all this stuff, which she was fine with. You know, she was having fun, you know, doing her thing.
She was in the room where it happened. So there's that.
Yeah. And now that's in my freaking head.
I'm sorry. I forgot you know that reference now. So therefore, the song plays.
Yes. Yes. But someone, it was a producer or executive or something. They were trying to do a Friday night horror like show where they would weekly show shows, and they needed a host. And he saw her like Valley Girl character, and he was like, "I want you to come and audition for this, and I want you to do that character." And she's just like, "But it's horror." Like, she grew up loving horror. Maybe because she was like scarred.
Maybe.
So she was like, "Oh, I like this stuff." Yeah. So that's when they came up with the character of Elvira.
Ooh, Mistress of the Dark. Eh?
Mistress of the Dark. Yes.
Love it.
So that's her big thing that she's known for.
Yes.
And they started it in 81. By 83, it was syndicated. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So she was in her 30s.
Cool.
By 83, it was syndicated like across the country, and everything like looks so like low budget. Like, it was filmed in LA. But it was so low budget when it was syndicated all throughout. Like, she has fans that come up and tell her like, "Oh, you recorded that in my small Wisconsin town," and she's like, No, I didn't.
It was a $40 million estate in Bel Air.
Yeah. But throughout the time, they couldn't, when they would like renew her contract, they could not. She was like the highest like rating show that they had. They couldn't afford to pay her more, so she started to, her and her manager started to just ask for more things. Like, "Well, can we start a fan club?" And they were like, "Sure." And they were like, "Well, can we do some merchandising for the fan club? So, we could send them t-shirts and stuff." So they just kept asking more and more and more. And that was like one of the smartest things she ever did, because she owns the character of Elvira. Like, the studio does not own it.
That's smart. That's George Lucas smart right there.
Yeah. And right before they started like filming, I guess this lady who had done a similar thing back like really late.
Is it your doggy Bondi that's barking? Oh, okay. You're like, well, that's fine. Then Katie thought for a second that it was her doggy.
2 barks.
2 barks. That's it. Okay, there you go.
There was a lady who did a similar thing back. I've only seen black and white, so I'm guessing that's how old that show was. Her name was Vampira. And there was a really good YouTube thing. I saw a thing that had Morticia, Vampira, and Elvira, and kind of like what the similarities are between them. Her freaking waist, like, she wears this corset, like it looks like smaller than her neck. Like, like that's to me, was the scariest thing about her. But she tried to like sue her because she was like stealing her thing.
Right.
I mean, really, the only similarities is that they have black hair and they're wearing a black dress. So they were kind of like, it's not really enough to hold up.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
But she had her show there for 7 years doing her thing. And she's this like Valley Girl character. Like, it's so weird. Like, I had not seen her. I started watching the movie. She's like, I don't know. She makes all these puns, which is amazing.
Yeah.
All day long, she's making these puns, and she makes fun of the movies that they're showing, and she makes these like, it's like a PG-13 show, so she'll make like references, that she's got huge ratings while she's motioning at her breasts.
Ratings.
Like, that's her iconic thing, is that she has a very low cut shirt, which is why I wore my.
There you
go. They're all natural.
Yes, the natural. There
dirty.
You go. I see it now.
I
like it. But they are natural because Dolly Parton will say, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap, and I always wondered.
They are natural.
Yeah.
They are natural. Like, she's never done anything with her breasts. She has had some surgeries over the years for her scarring.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She says it's gotten a lot better because it's like it's faded and they stretched. But she's had some stuff touched up for that.
Makes sense.
But she says Elvira only shows the good bits.
Oh, I like it. That's right.
At one point, they did I think it was like a show. They were trying to do a search for the next Elvira.
I remember
what
that.
they were trying to do was get a team of Elviras that would go out. Yes, they would go out like Halloween season, and they would come and sit on your lap, and you would tell them what you wanted for Halloween.
And this didn't catch on? Because I like this
No!
far more than Santa.
Yeah. But it didn't catch on. I think they just, there's only one Elvira.
There
so
is only
I guess
one
it's kind of
It is a Highlander situation, yeah. There can be only one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not that she kills the other ones.
No.
We know
it. She's had issues with stalkers over the years. Like she kind of like joked about, she's buddies with the LA stalking department. Because she's always caught up there. She's had like several bad ones. She had one stalker in particular that got really bad. He sent her a package. She didn't open it. Someone else like at her house opened it. I don't know if it was like someone on her staff or she had friends over. Like they would not let her look at the box, but they told her it was a female body part in that box.
No.
And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, if it's a female, like...
And identifiably so. Either way, you know what? Any way you slice it, not good. Not good. No.
Mm-mm.
Creepers. Gonna creep.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
Wow.
She's had some run-ins.
Oh, I know.
with,
Wait a minute. Was it Gwyneth Paltrow's head in the box? Was it before 7?
I don't know.
After 7? I'm just crying.
Oh.
Sorry, it's 7 reference. What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box? She's had like several issues with sexual assaults throughout the years.
Yeah.
She had one. I guess I had never heard of the term date rape that way. Like for me, when I hear date rape, I think someone drugs you.
Oh, okay.
But I guess she had a guy come to her house at one point, and she's kind of like, well, she just wasn't really feeling it. She's like, well, I gotta get up in the morning, and she's trying to be nice about it. And he pinned her to the floor and he was screaming that he was gonna knock her teeth in, and she just kind of zoned out and just
right.
So and then when he left, he was like, don't tell anyone or I'm gonna come back and finish the job. And she was just it was bad.
Mistress of the dark, that shouldn't happen to you. That's
no. Yeah. But she on a lighter note.
Right, I was gonna say this is also why she needs an army.
Yes. Brad Pitt owns her former house, or did at one point. She sold her house. She had these gates that I guess have like I forget if it's cobwebs or spiders on them.
Nice.
He's kind of like covered them up, like they're still there. I don't know if there's like bushes in front of it or something. But then she ended up buying the house next door to him. Anyway, like which is like weird. I don't know. So she said so someone was joking about like if she ever like knew who her stalkers was, and someone joked that, is it Brad Pitt? Like she's like, I wish. Yeah. And she was like saying that maybe, no, she was maybe stalking Brad Pitt because she would go out into her terrace and like, just try to catch a glimpse of Brad Pitt or walk her dog for the 30th time that day.
Yes.
Yes. She had announced in February that she had a deadline to for her autobiography, and it was supposed to be set for a Halloween 2020 release.
Oh,
I haven't seen anything yet.
I haven't either.
Any kind of a release date, like a pre-order, anything.
I mean, it
don't
could have
know
been
if, like, it's gotten
postponed.
slowed down with all the COVID stuff.
It's possible. Yeah.
So anytime there should be an autobiography coming out.
Okay, cool. The library is totally going to have to get that.
I was really hoping it would come out like right before we recorded so I could like power through it. But no.
No.
But
we'll
now
just have
it's
to do a follow-up. How about this? When it comes out, we'll do like a follow-up.
I think we should try to get her on the show because she's gonna like a lot of podcasts.
Sweet. That would be awesome.
But no, it's really great to see that she went from like covering herself up like from all these scars to just flaunting it and having this like just total like body and self-confidence. And she's a smart woman, like she is a businesswoman, like, and she's so like freaking nice.
She does a lot of charity work too, doesn't she? And I can't remember exactly what her charities are, but but I thought I would see her from here to there, you know what I mean, at least donating Elvira
there was some
stuff,
kind of,
you know,
there was like a AIDS event, I think she did a big thing. And she pops up like everywhere. There was some kind of game that came out where she was like a little freebie character, and it was on a clip of something I was watching, and it looked like it was like The Sims, but it wasn't The Sims.
Okay.
And you could see her character just being like flown across the screen, and I was like, what is going on? Like getting like run over. I'm like, I don't know what is going on here.
Adorable. She's like a little Easter egg in a game.
But no, I started watching. But no, she's got they have a collection of all the old shows on. They were on VHS back in the day. I'm sure they're on DVD now. And I think I saw that they are streaming somewhere, but it's not a major. It's not like Netflix or Hulu. It's like a particular like station or something. You can stream them. And there is a movie, and that's on Hulu, her Elvira, Mistress of the Dark movie.
Yes, I remember
I'm
that
about
movie.
halfway through that. I started it last night. It's good. It's totally,
Campy.
it's a very fun movie. Like, I love her character. Like, it's great. Like, she sits down at a bar, and these two dudes start hitting on her, and he's like, I got something to show you. She's like, I didn't bring my magnifying glass. Like, it's great.
Yes.
And she just eventually she grabs their beers and just pours them on her lap. It's great.
Exactly.
One of the things that I love about the Elvira movie too is that she does all this like positivity and having like ownership of your body. Like at the beginning when her producer that's being very inappropriate with her, like this is way foreshadowing the Me Too, and it's like Elvira is a feminist text. Woohoo!
Exactly. And she's standing up for herself, and she's showing us how to do it too.
Right. She's definitely like a good example of that you can be attractive, you can be sexy, but it doesn't invite people to be inappropriate with you.
Right.
Yeah, she does not. I mean, she's all for like flirting. Yeah. But if she's not down for it, she's got no problem telling them to go screw off. Like, it's great.
I love it.
And I seen that dude just straight up, like, he's being kind of like, oh, we should get dinner, whatever. He just straight up just grabs her boobs. And she is like yelling and like poking him so far back. They're trying to like record the next thing for the TV, like the weather. And she's just poking him in the back. She's like, you damn it! It's great.
Exactly. Oh, I totally remember watching her show, and I can't remember if it was like Friday nights or something like that, if it was a thing, or if it was just like a special, you know what I mean? Where it just kind of, it always felt like it came out around Halloween, like maybe there would be 4 episodes somewhere. But my brother and I always watched them, and it was kind of, it always almost felt like Mystery Science Theater 3000 too, you know what I mean? Because it was the movie, and then she'd come back, and then she'd make the movie better, because it was usually shit. And so, and I really don't like horror movies, but I thought she was hilarious and awesome, so I watched it for her.
I would love to see, for a while there, a friend and I would watch the Spenguli stuff.
Okay.
I would love to see her and Spenguli do a thing together, because he's always making, like, he'll make little, like, props, and they're both, like, doing these jokes, making fun of the show.
Right. See.
Yeah, so that I would love to see that.
Katie, did you ever watch Elvira growing up? Or yesterday?
No.
I mean, I'm just saying, as a grown-ass woman.
I've never watched Elvira. I'm familiar with, like, visually what her character looks like, but I don't, now I want to watch Elvira.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think you get a big kick out of her.
No, it's like, you should go look at her website. I remember when I was first thinking about covering her, I went to her website, and it's just, there's puns everywhere. Like, she is, all the other books that she's had before have been like, they're picture books is what they are. But she calls them coffin table books.
Coffin table.
Like,
beautiful.
like, everything is great. I think there was some kind of pun she had for signing up for her email list. Like, it's great.
I might have to steal or borrow or paraphrase a few for Scary Gals Month.
Yes.
And give credit where credit is due. Oh my goodness. Did you guys have any questions for Bonnie about Elvira, Mistress of the Dark? Or tell me again, Cassandra Peterson? Is that right?
Peterson, yes.
There we go.
I guess if there's like a call for an Elvira army, are you getting like the big blue font and signing up?
Yep. I love that wig. Like, that is amazing.
It's like how
kind of
those,
like armor.
It's,
well, you know how, like, oh, go ahead.
It's almost like a mullet.
Almost.
It's like short and on the top, and then it comes down.
But it's like
It's
50s
great.
Beehive with like rockadoo.
That's something.
Well, have you seen those Star Wars guys that are in the stormtrooper outfits that do all the comic book day and stuff? We should just have a whole army of Elviras.
Yes, I think so.
that'd
Yes. There's an Elvira parade.
Yeah.
I
And
also
she'll
want to
definitely
know,
be on your podcast.
we can get drag queens in on this, because I'll bet you there are some fierce queens that make an excellent Elvira. And I watch a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race, and I have not seen too many dress up as Elvira, and now I'm starting to think that's a shame.
On there, or
Was
on
she?
an episode as a judge. I don't know if she was in Elvira costume or not.
Right.
But she does often call, like, her costume, like, she's in drag. Like, she's
Yes.
in a character. There's lots of makeup and prep to get her in that.
And it's camp, because that's the essence of drag as well, is that layer of campiness where everything is exaggerated and made fun of. So yeah, no, I could see that.
No, and I was noticing in the movie, you know, like, the way she does even, like, her eye makeup, where, like, she's trying to, like, make her eyes bigger. I was like, oh yeah, that's got, like, some, like, drag queen roots there.
Yes, it does.
Nice.
Oh, that's fantastic, darling. I absolutely love it. Well, do you have anything else, or would you like me to wrap it up?
Yeah, I believe that is it.
Sweet. Well, then I opened it, so I shall wrap it up. Well, that wraps it up for us this week. Join us next week as our next gal pal shares her one cool scary gal as the Gals Guide podcast continues. Thanks for listening. For show notes, links, and images from this week's show, visit galsguide.org. Want exclusive stuff like deleted bits and major bloopers? Become a Gals Guide patron today. Thanks for listening.